with a zoom zoom. Good time, calypso. From the screen girl, I'm a killer. Good time, calypso. Mango tree and El Chile, good time, calypso.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WeFM 99.9 is on now.
And we are back with you for another commentary segment on today's Activated Mornings program. And this is usually time when we get a call from Mr. Kingsley De Freitas to provide us with his commentary for today. All right, so we are standing by, Mr. Kingsley De Freitas. We are standing by awaiting your call at this time. All right, so we're going to give you 10 seconds because you normally call by now, but let's see. All right, so giving him 10 seconds. All right, so we know that Kingsley is usually very prompt when he's calling, and so if he hasn't called by now, it's probably that we're not getting any commentary from him today. All right, so Kingsley, hope that you're good, and we look forward to hearing from you tomorrow. All right. All right, so we're just going to get into a few things at this time. And first up, for those of you who may not be aware as yet, or if you did not get that email or you did not see an article in relation to it, the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has issued email alert, or that there is a fake email alert happening. And why is my phone not rotating? Oh, grief. All right, let me enlarge this thing.
Let me do one in the meantime.
Right,
so also from the Bank of SVG, it also announced that it's going to have some early closures. I don't know if you've seen by now. So tomorrow, Thursday, the 6th of March, the Bank of SVG will be closing at 11:30 a.m. That's the Georgetown branch, the Joshua Center branch, the Barley branch, and the Chateaubelair branch. So those 4 branches will be closing at 11:30. The Reigate branch in Kingstown, the Halifax branch in Kingstown, the Bequia branch, Canouan, and Union Island branch. So all those 5 branches will be closing at 12 tomorrow. They said additionally, our exchange bureau at Argyle International Airport will remain open during this period to continue assisting customers.
All right.
Yeah.
So thanks for that, Dianna. So the bank has sent out a notice that there is a fake BOSVG email alert. So the bank says, or the communication says, we have received reports of a fraudulent email titled BOSVG Online Alerts, claiming to be from the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Limited. The email impersonates our no reply at bosvg.com. All right. So sometimes we would see that. So the email impersonates our no reply at bosvg.com address and urges customers to click on a link to view debit transaction on their account. Please refrain from clicking any links in the email. Additionally, do not provide or update any personal information as requested. This email is not associated with BOSVG, and we urge all customers to delete it immediately. To protect yourself from potential cyber attacks, please adhere to the following best practices. Do not click on links from unknown senders. Never share sensitive personal information via email. Hover over email addresses and links to verify their legitimacy before clicking. All right. And if you encounter any suspicious emails or notice unusual account activity, please report it to Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines at info@bosvg.com or contact 452 4375. All right. So they encourage you to remain vigilant in protecting your personal information. All right. And we know that there are many Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines customers out there. So just please be on the guard. Please be alert. If you are hesitant or you're uncertain, if you are uncertain regarding any information that you're getting purportedly from the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, please query before doing anything else. All right.
Wait, before you go, one piece I didn't add. Additionally, the ATM downtime tomorrow will be from 11 a.m. to 11:30 instead of 1 to 1:30. So usually it will be done from 1 to 1:30, but for tomorrow it's going to be 11 to 11:30 in the morning, just for tomorrow, along with the closures. And everything will be back to normal on Friday.
All right, so we're going to get into some other news stories at this time. And first up, Shallow nominated unopposed to second term as CWI president. All right. So reading this particular story from Eyewitness News. So Vincentian Keisha Shallow has been nominated unopposed to serve a second consecutive term as president of Cricket West Indies, the second successive election in which he has been elected unopposed. All right. So his new term will officially commence on the 29th of March. During CWI's annual general meeting in Antigua. Shallow will serve alongside Vice President Azim Bazarath, who was also elected unopposed. All right, so Shallow has been nominated unopposed despite a statement by the PM of SVG that he should not lead regional cricket while named as a candidate in national elections. All right, so as we know that Dr. Shallow is the NDP's candidate for the North Leeward seat. All right. Shallow's re-election follows historic governance reforms approved at a special meeting by CWI in February of this year. So the reforms introduce a significant change, increasing the duration of presidency and vice president's term from 2 to 3 years. And additionally, they can serve a maximum of 3 years. All right. So just something to note there that Dr. Shallow is back as president of CWI.
Well, congrats to Dr. Shallow. I noticed the article said that him and Basara, they're the first to serve at the very end of 3 years, 3 years,
3 year
term or something like that. Yeah. So, well, congrats to him there on that one.
I suppose the only question that I would ask, I'd probably find out at some point, is if he does win the seat for North Leeward, would it mean that he would have to step down, or can he actually? I suppose he could probably serve in both capacities, but I'm wondering if he would hold on to the presidency still, right? So that's probably just a question. I'm not necessarily thinking of it as being a conflict in terms of being an area rep, member of parliament, as well as president of CWI. But it's just something that I was curious about as I read it. And because this is a 3-year term, this new term is a 3-year term. All right. So, of course, congrats to Dr. Keisha Shallow on this. I suppose efforts were made to... Right. Efforts were made. Y'all finish it in your head, right? But we noted that, yes, he has been successful in a second term. All righty. So, you know what? I'm going to leave everything alone. All right. So another thing that we quickly get into is, as we're speaking about persons and young persons being involved in politics, we noted that college lecturer, and this is what I'm also reading from Eyewitness News. Excuse me a second there. College lecturer Rodan John, let me tell you, wants to be the ULP candidate for South Windward. All right. So college lecturer and community activist Rodan John has declared his interest in contesting the general elections for the ULP candidate for South Windward. He says, I have humbly decided to put myself forward as a prospective candidate to contest the next general elections he stated in a press release. All right. So he emphasized his commitment to the people of South Windward and his readiness to serve them actively in politics, continuing on a path of progress with the ruling Unity Labour Party. All right. His decision to declare his interest in becoming a candidate comes after MP for South Windward, the ULP's Frederick Stevenson, announced his plans to retire from active politics at the end of this first term. All right. So the article goes on a bit, but if you wish to, you can check that story out on Eyewitness News. But there are also similar stories on other social media pages carrying news as well. All right. So we see here another young person, currently a college lecturer, has put forward himself to be the candidate or wants to be considered as a candidate for the ULP's side for the South Windward constituency. All right. Any thoughts for this, Dianna?
Not necessarily, and I'm just looking now to see what is happening. It's interesting that he's come forward and said that he would like to be the candidate for that area. I noticed that he has some background in certain areas there. So I'm just looking to see before I could add anything more to the conversation, you know? Okay. Yeah.
All right. So
just one thing though, when I saw that article about him, I couldn't help but thinking about the question that you always ask: why do people think that they have to get into politics to make a change? And so just looking on.
I actually thought it was something else that I said, because another thing that I thought of. So you know how we always hear the discussion, or we always hear when persons come forward, they say, the people want for me to run.
Yeah.
The people have asked for me to run. It's different in this case, right? I did not read anything like that in the article itself. It's not to say that maybe it wasn't stated to him by persons within the constituency. It might have been stated, but I didn't read it in the article. I'm not sure if I glanced over it, but I did not read that in the article, right? So that was what I thought was a little bit different, in that he has put himself forward, but I haven't heard that famous line of saying that persons have asked for me to run. All right. Nonetheless,
people have been requesting me.
Nonetheless, I'm not taken away from it, because again, as usual, as I've always been saying, that we do need to have people involved in politics. We do need to have young persons involved in politics. Politics is not just for older folks. All right. You have to have young people involved in it, because we need to have that mixture of both age and wisdom. Let me say age and experience with youthfulness, so that we can see a little bit more of advancement within society, but of course doing it in the right way. All right. So hats off to him for putting himself forward, and of course we will see what the outcome of this will be. All right.
I'm pretty sure I saw someone. I was in a van the other day, and I'm pretty sure there was a lady in the van with a bag, and on the bag it marked Rodan John. Did he
that must
have probably started some community. So I was wondering if he already started some community work or something,
But I think that he did some, what do you call it, but grocery bag donations.
Oh yes,
coming
that
down
was
to the
him.
end of December.
That was him.
So so I think maybe he did have that interest in mind all along, and it's just that he has now put that information forward to the rest of us, sealing what persons may have thought. So but I mean, I'm not sure how often or for how long he had been doing that type of outreach. Maybe he has been doing it for a while. I am not familiar with him, so I can't say whether or not, yes, it's been going on for a while, but he's put himself forward, and we will see what the outcome will be. But I have a very funny feeling that this election will be quite interesting. I just have that feeling. All right. So we are going to head on out and continue with more commentary after 8.